Hi folks, here we are again in part 2 of the Triumph Acclaim restoration. This is the strip down. Right, well, since I last spoke to you, I've done a little bit more work and I'm still in the process of stripping it down. I've taken the bumpers off, which is actually pretty easy on these. All you've basically got is two pins, one that goes straight up through there, straight up through the other side, and the whole bumper just pulls off as one unit. If I take you around the back, it's exactly the same thing. Again, two bolts access from underneath, and this one rusted a little bit more, and I had to wedge an 11mm on there to get it undone. Well, I'm just going around the car now, removing, as you can see, the wing mirrors, which I've actually taken off, and they was actually connected. They go in there. There's some mechanism that with a little lever on that supposed to adjust them, but obviously that's seized up over the years. But getting these window winders off is a little bit of a nuisance, because when the door cards are on, these are on there, and you have to, these little plastic things on there sort of thing, and you have to sort of prise apart the plastic thing and the door winder while it's on the door card to try and gain access. You can see it from behind there. You've got this little clip there which you have to try and sort of hook and then pull out, and then you can pull the handle off. So that's quite an awkward thing, that is. And I'm at the stage now where I've taken off the door lock mechanisms there. As you can see, that's all disappeared now. And I'm just going to remove the doors now, so that means that I've had to take this pin out which holds the door stay there, obviously, so the door don't open too wide, and I've just dropped the pin back in there, so that's okay. So all I've got now is 1, 2, 3, 4, again it looks like 12mm nuts, so I'm going to undo them and this door should come straight off. So you could really do with having two people here to hold these doors, but the bolts, everything's nice and clean anyway. So I'm going to take, at the moment, the first thing I'm going to do is just take one out of the top and one out of the bottom. Right, so I'm going to take the third bolt out now, which is again the bottom one, and that leaves just one in the top, because the weight is actually leaning on the bottom hinge. So the final hinge to stop the door separating is the last one at the top I've left, so that should hold the door in place until I've supported it. I hate it when the bolts are just too tight for you to undo them by hand, but they seem very loose when you go and do it with a spanner. And the reason I'm taking the doors off is so that I can actually paint all the inside of the door jambs as well, just to make a proper job of it, really. For the sake of doing these 4 little bolts and the little pin, you might as well do this. Plus I can actually take the doors and paint them separately as well, so more chance of getting a good coverage on them. So I'm supporting the door now on my legs. There we go, all the bolts are out, and I should just be able to leave it that away as I've done. Right. Put that over there. Nice and carefully. And I shall just go around the car now and remove all the rest of the doors using the same procedure. Right, and as you can see, the rear doors, I can actually undo these bolts here, and it makes life a whole lot easier because I can actually do these without too much trouble, and that makes that life a bit easier as well. So that's what I'm going to do now. There we go, all 4 doors are now off. Nice simple procedure, probably took me about half an hour to do that, so but the finish you're going to get is going to be far superior. Once I'm going to take off all this door edging trim as well, and this will obviously be the line where I mask up to, so all your internal door trims are going to get a new coat of paint as well. So that's what we're doing there. So I'm going to remove the bonnet or the hood, and also the boot lid as well. I've got some work to do on the front valance. They always rust up on them apparently, so that's quite a common thing on these. But yeah, I'm very pleased with the way it's come down at the moment. I've really not invested a lot of time in this at the moment whatsoever. And as I said to you, structurally the car is very, very sound. As I said, it's been it looks like it's had some sort of wax oil treatment injected into it. Let me just show you what I found. Right. If we look at the rear inner wheel arch here, you notice these plugs that have been put in here. Now these are normally a sign that a car has had some sort of injected rust treatment in it, so I would suggest that this car has had that treatment. You know, realistically, I want all this looking as fresh and as nice as I can possibly get it. So one thing I also like to do as well, obviously these are the 4 doors. I've stripped the 2 front doors down obviously because I had to get the wing mirrors off, but I like to keep everything sort of pretty much organised. For example, that bag of bolts is for one door, another bag of bolts there for another door. There's a door kit that come off one of the front doors. It just means that little things can get lost and you can actually forget. Bearing in mind I've got multitude projects here all in about which I'm working on, and it's very easy to forget. Now I mentioned to you before about taking photographs, which obviously is a great idea as well, but pretty much this sort of stuff, body repair, body stripping down, it's pretty much common sense really. So providing you keep everything in order, you should be okay. So I'm just going to take off the hood lid, the boot lid, and also the bonnet, and then I'm going to have a cup of tea. So that's what I'm going to do now. Again, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 brackets from the front, 12mm bolts it looks like. Yep, and the good thing about that is I can actually access them from the front, and the boot doesn't have to be up, so I'll just lay the boot down, so I haven't got to worry about the weight, and literally just undo them 2 bolts there, them 2 bolts there, and lift the bonnet away. I'm just going to stick them bolts back in their holes for now, just because it makes life a bit easier. Don't really want to lose them. Wherever I can, I actually just put the bolts back in their original fixings. It just sort of makes life a bit easier. That's all. Right. I don't know what the boot consists of. Let's go and have a look. Yeah, look at that, look. Look where she's gone to sleep, look. Let's have a look, see what she's doing, look. What are you doing under there? Hey? What are you doing? Sadie, you alright? The old boy's there, look. Old Duke, deaf as a post, he can't hear a word anyone's saying, look. Can you, Duke? Hey? He can't hear a word anyone's saying. Barney, where are you going? You can't go through there. You back out now, Duchess. Right, let me carry on work. Right, I've looked in the manual about getting this trim off. It don't actually say anything, so I may be able to get a better look at it when I get the boot lid off. So, you know, one thing at a time. Right, again, this looks pretty simple. 2 bolts there, 2 bolts there, plus the wiring loom. Where's that connected to? Might have to just pull the wires out or through, I'm not sure yet. Right, I've just pulled the wiring loom out then. But there's this other cable here which goes to the lock mechanism, and this is a wired pull sitting down by the driver's seat where you pull and it unlocks the boot. So I'm going to have to undo the lock here, drop this down and see if I can disconnect that cable. And of course it wouldn't be 12mm this time, it looks like a 10mm. So far the only spanners I've used is a 12mm and a 10mm. So not too bad. And I've got all these doors and panels off the car, so I've used a pair of pliers obviously and a screwdriver, but with these old cars you don't need a lot of specialist tools. There's no fancy locking nuts with special heads on them or whatever. It's just a basic socket set, and that's what I love about working on old vehicles. These are back in the days when you used to be able to maintain them yourself, you see. Right, okay. Right, let's pull this out now and have a little look at what we got here. If I can feed this through. Not much slack on that cable. If I can feed some slack in, it might be alright. Hold on. It's a little bit awkward. Oh, you've also got the arm there for the door lock, which you've probably got to pop off. So if I just pull that out for the boot lid, if you take a look, I don't know if you can see in there, can you? You've got that little old mechanism there with a little circlip that's got to come off. You take that little circlip off, and then you pull that white plastic thing back, and that releases the arm. So that's what I've got to do. Right, I've taken that circlip off there, and this means it gives me enough throw just to pull that out now, look, as you can see. And easier said than done. There we go. It just pops out of there. And this whole lever here should... There we go. Right, that's that cable out of there. So I don't actually need to take this out right at the moment, so... It looks like this could be some sort of indicator, this cable, to show you if the boot lid's open. I think that's what it might be. So it's not central locking. There's no solenoids or anything in here. It's a pure indicator which makes and breaks a set of contacts here if the boot lid has not been shut properly. That's what I would suggest that is. I don't know, that's my assumption. As soon as I've got that plate off, that clip, let's take this door lock off. Just that we're going to paint behind that anyway, so there we go. So there we go, that's that little circlip there that comes off the back of it. I'm just going to pop that back on there, just so that I don't lose it. Like that. There's a clip that goes behind it. Just pop that back on there. And can I get that out? Yeah, there we go. And there's the actual whole door lock mechanism just out anyway. So I'm going to put this in our little box at the front in a bag. Right, okay. Now we can carry on and undo the boot lid. Right, okay, well all I've got to do now, the two screens have got to be popped out. I've got a new rubber, as you know, for this back one, but I'm not too sure about the front one yet, so I might have to tread very carefully with that one. And once I've done that, it's just the internal trims around the door edges that have got to be removed. A couple of mud flaps at the front. Yeah, there's none on the back. And then we're ready to start preparing the bodywork for the bodywork that needs to be done and the respray. So I'm going to just put these 4 bolts back in the boot lid, and I'm going to go and have a cup of tea. See you in a minute. Right, look who's just turned up, look. Come here, can't see you there, stand there. Sharon's just turned up and she's going to make me a lovely cup of tea now. So I think she come in the drive and she went, oh look at this!
I said it looks like a scrapyard.
It looks like a scrapyard. But yeah, I know, keeping up that. So I'm going to cover the car up now. All I've got to do then is remove the trim around the doors and take the windshield out back and front and remove the mud flaps, and then I can start working on the bodywork. So I think that's enough for this issue. We might go out for something for lunch anyway. Something you fancy that idea?
Tracy's coming up.
Tracy's coming up. That means
George.
3. Well, where's George?
Nursery, 1 o'clock.
Oh, right. We've got to wait till 1 o'clock. The time now is 12:15. So I'm gonna have a cup of tea, have a little look on the internet just to see what's going on, and spruce myself up, put some makeup on, and we're going out for lunch.
Take longer than 45 minutes.
Shut up, Sharon. We'll see you later. Bye for now.